How are we doing, folks? How are we doing? Right. First of all, can everyone hear me? Give me a yes. Yes from Kathy. Fan-flippin-tastic. I tell you what, I think I've actually got it right for once. Good old StreamYard. So there's a bit of a delay on this between when I speak on StreamYard and then when you get it in YouTube. It's about 5 seconds. So I was actually watching both, but I've got to turn the YouTube one off there now. So you guys should still be able to see me and hear me now. I've turned that tab off. Can you tell me that you can still see and hear me? I know this is it's a cracking cupboard. Good stuff. Right. Welcome, one and all, to my first ever live stream this year, and probably my first ever live stream that I've ever done where I've invited guests on. So this is a bit of a first for me. I'm a little bit anxious, to be fair, although the guests I've got on are absolutely fantastic. I can see Russ there. Russ is in the green room. There he is. Gives you a thumbs up. Oh, fantastic. Nice to see you there, Russ. Have you got a beer on the go, fella? He has. We'll get Russ on in a bit. So, how are you all doing anyway? I hope we're doing all right. This is, as you can see me by me doing this and this and this, that I'm actually a little bit nervous about this whole thing. I'll settle down in a minute. Don't worry, I'll settle down in a minute. Reason being, I've got like a new camera as well, a new webcam. So this is like all a bit new for me. I had to get the whole thing working. I don't really like using StreamYard. I think it's very easy to use if you're going to do like basic ones, but I like something with a bit more, I don't know, a little bit more pizzazz. But so if I'm by myself, I normally use OBS platforms, that kind of thing. So it's got a bit, you can do a little bit more with it. You can't really do a lot on the basic package of, on the free package of StreamYard, as they don't give you anything for free, or very little anyway. So I know that's well. First and foremost, is one of the reasons, or the main reason for me doing this, was to say a massive thank you to everyone for getting me above 2,000 subs. I mean, it's an absolutely, for me anyway, I'd never thought I'd even get anywhere close to 1,000. Never mind breaking 2,000. So for that alone, I'm going to raise a glass. And a massive thank you to you all, because I know this is my channel and I put the videos out, but it's you guys that watch them. I mean, obviously I watch it as well, but you guys that watch them, share them, and do all that wonderful comments and all the likes and shares and everywhere else. So it's very humbling to actually get this far. And a 50-year-old guy, very soon to be 51. I'm 50. I'm 51 next weekend. So yes, very humbling for me as an old sod to actually have this kind of like following on YouTube and Facebook, all the other ones as well. So it's fantastic, it really is. So let's just quickly see who's in chat. I'll quickly see who's in chat, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you my my new trailer for Chillingham Castle. It's just over 2 minutes long. So, it's not, you're going to be sitting down there spending 10, 15 minutes watching a trailer. All right. Tonight's beer of choice is Ghost Chip. Now, as stereotypical as that might be, it is a cracking beer. And I'm even going to nick my old mate John Smith's thing and give it a rating on the old ale scale. As I'm sure Russ has probably heard this 1 trillion times as well. He's nodding. But yeah, Ghost Ship for me is a staple Citra real ale hops. It's beautiful. It really is. It just goes down so smoothly. I absolutely love it, and it is my go-to supermarket beer. It just happens to be called Ghost Ship, which is quite apt for me. So let's just see who's in channel quickly. So I'm a massive, a big old. We've got Mr. and Mrs. We've got Beardo and Mrs. Geek. Beardo and Mrs. Geek are a married couple. Beardo will be on later on. You might have watched Beardo Get Scared, his YouTube channel. He's a big debunker. Comes from Wales. A very jolly chap. I've never met him before in real life, so to talk to him tonight will be fantastic. And oh wow, we've got 45 people watching. It's fantastic. This is beautiful. We've also got Diane's in the house. My companion there, my compadre, Diane. Lisa is here as well. Lisa Horton. Lisa Horton. You can see these here. She's responsible for these. I've got another one just here as well, which you can't quite see. It's off camera of the black cat. I kind of switched them around. So Lisa made these for me. Thank you very much, Lisa. IConjure are in the chat as well. They will be on after Russ. Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers. They had a very, very good one. I'm going to watch their newest one from The House That Cries, Grace the Old Hall. I'll quite happy to give them a big old shout out for that because it was a very interesting one. There's some very interesting footsteps in there as well. If you want to go and check it out, Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers, please go and see them. Who else is there? Tony Sackett, and I also another one of my compadres, part of the Hertfordshire Boo crew. Nice to see you, Tony. Who else is in? Listen, a few new faces here connecting to Afterlife. Thank you very much for joining. Broken Capital, and we know they're friends of Beardo as well. Thank you very much for coming along, Broken Capital. There's a few familiar faces in here as well. Eva Connolly as a familiar one in here. Three Spires Paranormal. How are you doing, Lee? Nice to see you in here, mate. Nice to see you. Ale House Horns. Lorian Jones is in the house as well. Lovely to see her here. I'm hopefully going to get her on this live stream sooner or later as well. She's a very interesting lady, and if you want to go and check out her stuff as well on Ale House Horns Facebook page, please do. She has now got a YouTube channel as well, so go and check out that one as well. She's also on Instagram and Twitter. Check them all out. They're fantastic. Neil Smith, my good old pal from who's John's brother, who is Russ's brother-in-law. Neil is in the house as well. And in the house, who am I? A raver like Neil? I don't know. Used to be, not anymore, that's for sure. Neil, nice to see you here, mate. Brian from New England. He hasn't even said it, I don't think, but Brian is from New England in the States. Who else is in here? Quickly. Well, and then I'll get on with the vid because I'm wasting time here. Amy and Ryan's Weird Adventures. Please, 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 if you haven't seen Amy and Ryan's Weird Adventures, formerly Full Dark Paranormal, please go and check them out. Subscribe to them. Wonderful people. I had the pleasure of meeting them there last year in London with Lorian. Absolutely fantastic people and friends for life now. That's it. You've got me. You've got me. Kay Evans, more familiar people. Nice to see you here. Jan W. Where are we at? Missy May, nice to see you here, love. Kathy Gallagher, also a familiar one. Carlos. Carlos. If that's Carl, it is Carlos. Carlos FTW. Mate. Yeah, and he says, I don't look a day over 54. Cheeky sod. Hopefully later on this year, fingers crossed, we will be meeting Carlos and Carl and Lorian at Hill House, and there's going to be a welcome return to that place. I am really looking forward to that. Beth is also in the build. Lindsay Civita, my good lady. Tell you what, she's a cracking lady. She really is. My good friend Lindsay Civita is in the chat as well. She is in a few of my videos, the Victorian graveyard, and one of the more recent ones at the pub in London, the Ripper pub in London. So please go in there. Yeah, she's fantastic. She's a mind of information. She really is. Right, I tell you what, without further ado, and stop me gabbing, before Russ is hanging on for grim death here, I'm sure. I'm going to play you my new trailer, and then we'll get Russ in. All right? Enjoy this. If I can get it working.
Chillingham Castle, calm and tranquil by day. But when the night falls, dark and foreboding it becomes.
Anyone in the gallery up there? What was that noise?
I heard that.
Did you hear that?
Like somebody clearing their throat.
Yeah.
Like a, I command you in the name of the king to join us at this table.
Dungeon time. I have come to what they call the oubliette. It's a solitary confinement of very, very small dungeon prison.
There's some bones there, and a skull.
I'm going to spend a bit of time in here. Well, what do you think of that? Let me know what you think of that. That video, the main video, will be coming out. I've only just started doing it, so please give me a couple of weeks. I'm a busy bloke, a full-time job that works long hours, so please just be patient for that one. Right. Let's see. All right. Well, a lot of people seem to like that there. Where are we at? A real oubliette. Yes, it was a real oubliette. Yeah, you might want to put a few armbands on there. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you all enjoyed that. And what I will be doing as well, I'll post that on my YouTube channel later on tonight. So if you want to watch it again, or maybe if you want to towards the end of the stream, we can watch it again if you want to. It's up to you. Let me know anyway, but I'll post it anyway at the end of the thing. So let's get Russ on. Let us get Russ up here there now. Russ, I apologize if I cocked this up because I've never done it before. Whoa, there we go.
Hi, Mark. How you doing, pal? You all right?
Russ, how are you doing?
Congratulations on 2,000 subs, pal. You okay?
Thank you very much indeed, Russ. Very nice indeed. And thanks very much.
That's all right, mate. No problem.
So, for those that don't know Russ, where have you been? But
probably easy to say where haven't I been, I think, Mark.
Well, where haven't you been? Yeah. So it's the first time I've actually spoken to Russ, to be fair. We have talked on social media, like through text and stuff like that, but we've never actually spoken to each other, which is damn nice.
I'm in Staffordshire. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to say hello to anybody,
yeah.
Apart from Staffordshire Paranormal, because the troublemakers they are really troublemakers.
Lovely. Yeah.
Hi, Simone's here as well. If you want to go and check him out on Instagram, he's does some good real ale reviews as well. So there we go. Anyway, Russ, you are part of Wednesbury Paranormal.
Everybody screws that one up, mate. Yeah, it's I've had Wednesday Paranormal thrown at me. I've had Webbery Paranormal, but purely our name is shit, but we don't care. We set it up basically because we're just lads having a laugh and got involved in it, and
Yeah,
we've thought about going like all cool with Dead Cold and haunted this and haunted that, but we thought no, we're not got, you know what I mean? Like we're just lads. We want to have a laugh and prove a bit about the afterlife, and
definitely.
And that's what we're in it for. So we don't need to. People know who we are, so we don't need to get any bigger than what we am. So, but yeah, it's good. But it's Wednesbury anyway. Junction 9, M6, West Midlands, 8 miles south or north of Birmingham. Yeah, little
don't get the two wrong.
Yeah, I can't even remember, mate. But we're by IKEA. Just remember, we're IKEA. We're IKEA Paranormal. Flat pack heaven.
But you're also not just a YouTube channel that has like that puts up videos every now and again. You're also an events company as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, our YouTube channel's shit, mate. Compared to what you guys do and all you people watching, I mean, there's some amazing stuff. You knock out some brilliant videos. I just wish I had half the skills that some of you guys have got. I mean, you looking at who's watching this evening. I mean, you're just masters. I mean, you're just unbelievable. Us guys here haven't got a clue. We know what to get. We know how to get it. And well, in relation to what you got in relation to the artistry and the craft you all put in, I haven't got a clue. I'm just an absolute idiot on YouTube, to be honest. We use it as a scrapbook, really, just to say,
yeah.
We've been here, we've been there, we've done this, and it's just memories, really, what we've done in the past. But what you've just done at Chillingham there, I mean, Christ, it's like orgasmic. if I can say that, but I mean, it really is, man. It's a lot better than some of the shit I'm seeing on the TV. So hats off.
Thanks very much, man.
Hats off.
I never set out to, for that to be the case. I think what started me with the old intros thing, because my stuff was obviously, I mean, the first few videos I ever did were filmed off my phone until I ended up getting the old Sony camera. But yeah, I think it was the first time I ever went to Haunted Hill. Martin, who was with me that time, he's a videographer, and he made an intro for the time that we were there. And I'm thinking, this is, I like this. It looks really good. It's a good intro to videos, and it's just kind of like, I mean, I've got to say as well, Steve Richards from
Ouija Brothers.
Jesus Christ, how did I forget that? I badgered him something serious actually to teach me, and he has actually taught me a lot of things to do with editing and stuff like that. So if I was wearing a hat, it would be doffed to him, that's for sure, because he set the wheels in motion, that's for sure.
Definitely, there's some brilliant filmmakers out there, but I mean, in relation to what we're in it for, though, the evidence-wise, I do like to watch and see who's creative in relation to the vigils, and I'm always keeping an eye on who is pushing that genre. It's not just all about the artistry and the quality. Let's actually see something what we're in it for. I'm getting a bit. I'm sorry to rant, but I'm getting a bit more narked with people, using a lot of apps on the phones, etc. Which I'm not knocking it, because everybody investigates differently. We all seem to be copying each other, what we're doing. I'm looking for the people who are thinking outside the box and actually pushing the boundaries. I mean, in relation to what we're all researching and what we're all in it for, let's look at manipulating energies. Let's look at manipulating atmospheres. Let's bring a bit of science and a bit of class to it, rather than having a walk around in the dark in a haunted place, man. We don't want to do that. We've all got brains. Let's use them. Let's think outside the box. And that's what we're trying to do at Wednesbury Paranormal. We're shit at what what you guys are all doing. You're masters at that class. But let's bring the two together. Let's look at experimentation. Let's look at improving divination techniques. Let's look at the ITC world and see what we can do in relation to frequency manipulation. That there is so much we can do together, and then document it as set to and bring all this together. And that's what I'm trying to bring together and achieve that, you know, because my team at Wednesbury, we're a bunch of lads and we like to have a laugh, etc. And we like an ale like you know, everybody else does. And downtime to us is mucking about. But when we're on vigil or when we're on location, or we set out to achieve our goals, we set out to find the historical validation. We're also trying to find out what it's primarily causing the hauntings. Is it historical? Is it residual? Is the energy intelligent? So we look at our experiments in relation to finding that information, and that's what we get our buzz out of. So I think, you know, people like you know, I've watched some of your videos and you understand some of those techniques and methods for sure.
Yeah.
And some of the older, as you say, the divination side of things, and looking at experiments like Gansfeld and the God Helmet, and using negative ions to change the atmosphere to enhance your spiritual awareness. These are all things that we all need to be aware of to improve what we do. And therefore, these quality of videos are going to have some better content and get more hit rates. So
yeah. Definitely, Russ. And I'm all for that. I mean, I haven't actually been out investigating since, God knows, since early October last year, to be fair. I just like kind of built up a few videos and you know, so I've been sitting on them kind of thing and doing a few other bits and pieces. But but I was obviously I was going to go and meet you this weekend.
Yeah,
where you were obviously at last night.
Oh, it was amazing, absolutely.
But I've seen your Facebook posts about it. So is there any chance you can maybe fill us in on a few things about it?
Okay, so we kind of have a little affiliation with the Spooktacular ghost hunting events, and it's only because we've got a lot of respect for Natalie Lawrence, and I've known her a fair few years, and she goes around, and what she does in relation to historical buildings saves them from being demolished. So she'll go in, see a rather historical building, for example, George Jarvis School. A lot of history there down in Gloucestershire way. She'll go in and say, look, don't wreck it, but I'll have it off you for the short-term period. And then she'll rent it out to research companies, events companies, but not primarily events companies as such, but the ones that are interested in actually getting validation of the history that's gone on there and seeking tangible evidence. And it's not about egos, it's purely about the validation, the tangible evidence of the afterlife. And she's got three places: George Jarvis School, the Nunnery in Malvern, and these two are full of energies, don't get me wrong. But last night, her new building, it's called Pencarrig Hotel, but I'm not sure. It's in Bulliff Wells in the centre of Wales.
Looks lovely.
She calls it the Manor, the Old Manor House Hotel.
Yeah.
So I think it was mid 17th century, the build, she was telling us last night. And it's untapped. This is what we want. We want untapped energies. So we walk into the building. You being spiritualist, you are having a set of skills, or like me, who's just haven't got jack shit, but just knows when there's something weird about a place. You know, I'll walk in, and I mean, you get it, don't you? You walk into that place, and that electrical static charge just hits you, and then all your hairs on your arms come up. As soon as we walked in, got to the base room, started setting up, we was getting DVPs, we was getting footsteps above us on the floorboards, and nobody was in there, just Natalie with us in the base room. We was getting temperatures of -5 dipping virtually instantly. Wow. So it's normally a gradual process to the 5 degree before it trips the sensors. But these were happening like this: bang, bang, bang. We was getting religious ITC responses because of the Reverend who's prominent there. But he was also he was calling us witches because obviously
God.
Yeah, we had witches coming through on Spirit Portal. We've got about 3 or 4 different portals, not portals, spirit boxes we like to use. So linear, automatic, random, on the general AM, FM ranges. We was having a full-fledged conversation with this reverend in one of the servants' quarters yesterday. I mean, for a minute, constant minute, which we filmed, he was chatting with us, answering our questions direct.
Wow.
There's no spark at all in the building. Not one bit of electricity anywhere. And we had the EMF meters. I don't like to use the word K2. I like to use EMF because that's what it is, electromagnetic field readings. So we had a Trifeld as well, and we had them out. And as he was answering our questions, that was both spiking. So obviously you red light, etc.
Yeah.
But the thing was, because he was a religious character, and he's obviously haunting the place because he's in some kind of limbo state. So therefore, back then you would be scared if you'd sinned of the fact when you do pass and cross over, do you actually want to go because of the wrath of God and your so that's why they stay in limbo. You see, back then the fear of God was put into them religiously.
Yeah,
so they didn't want to cross if they had sinned because of the repentance. So that's why he was there, and we asked him this question direct, and he was almost telling me the reason how he had sinned, and we was blown away by it. And I mean, just I don't want to spoil it for anybody who wants to go.
Just
look up Spooktacular ghost hunting events online, or Natalie Lawrence on Facebook. Drop her a message. Team of 13 can go. It's about a monkey, about 500 quid. Share it between you, and you will not go wrong. But just respect the premises and respect the property, because it's our heritage. It's our haunted heritage that needs protecting. And I'm going to rant. I'm sorry, always I rant. The bastards out there knocking things down to build shitholes, and they are not protecting our heritage, our haunted heritage for us and our legacy for our children, the ghost hunters of the future. We need this. We need to protect it. So hats off to Nat Lawrence and Spooktacular. So
great.
Anybody who's doing anything and protecting our haunted heritage, our historical artifacts, so people who are, Haunted Museum in Stoke, Craig, he's collecting these artifacts for us, for our enjoyment for the future and the history behind them. They're not getting binned and shelled because of the woke brigade out there. I'm sick of all the shit like that. Let's look after it. It's us. It's for everybody listening tonight. Let's get together and protect it all. Let's not listen to these politicians. I'm sick of it. Let's look after our our legacy. Let's get out there and show them what it's all about. And I know we can do it because the para community is strong. It's stronger than it's ever been. And there have been a lot of shit the past 2 years, possibly because of COVID, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of bitchiness, blah, blah, blah. But no, I can see exciting times ahead for us all, because there's some clever people, some brilliant people tonight watching in the inbox. I can see them. I'm just class people in the field, and we just need to unite and help each other. No ego. No ego. It's not about likes. Let's go out there and get this tangible evidence we all seek. Sorry, rant over, mate. Rant over.
Russ, you're very welcome for that rant. You really are.
No, I just care passionately about what we all do.
Well, as we all should do, and as we I definitely do. Yeah. I go back to the place in Wales, Haunted Hill, that I've visited on many occasions.
I need to go there with you. We need to come there with you. I know John's been, but I'd love to have a walk around there with you, Mark.
John hasn't been.
Oh, hasn't he? I thought he'd been.
John was going to come with us, but then he...
another one he bottled out of, because he normally gets told.
He pulled out. He
always pulls out, I know, yeah. I'm sorry, excuse the pun. That's what my sister says, anyway.
I'm glad you said that. I ain't saying things like that. He'll probably...
Before the watershed.
He'll disown me. Although Neil might, let's say Neil's saying, nicely said, Russ. It was like Jerry Springer G. Final thought.
Yeah. No, I do, Mark. I care. And there's no right way, there's no wrong way. Each to their own. I'll never criticise anybody doing that. But what I will criticise is doing the same things over and over and over again. Yeah. Because, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. That's all. I want people to push the boundaries. I want people to... So I saw someone in here straight away. I picked up on it. Physics, the laws of physics, the laws of nature. Mother Earth itself emits an EMF like no other. And I mean, we can tap into this energy source. We can. I'm not a clever bloke. You know, I'm not a clever bloke at all. There's people here tonight are absolutely, you know, weighing stations above me in relation to intelligence. But why aren't we using it? Let's use our creative side of our brains and let's push the boundaries a bit more. Because the video content, don't get me wrong, it's better than Netflix, like I've just mentioned about you. But we're concentrating more on that side than we are in relation to the communication techniques. So what we need, Mark, is your videos, but we need somebody experimenting in flatline NDEs and things like that. doing a live DMT trip and stuff. So
I think what we're going to need, Russ, is for us to turn up at a haunted location with a couple of transit vans of gear and a generator.
Sure, but please, anybody who's watching, cat balls, just put them away and give them to your cat. You know, do to. I mean, that's a form of communication. There's just okay. Some people swear by them and say each to their own. But there's a reason why they go off. And
mine have actually ran out now. So batteries have run out. So I ain't replacing them either.
Your own senses, you know, I've bought every bit of gear you can ever imagine. I've tried every bit of every experiment, and well, as far as the scope of my brain will go, and that's not very far. But I just know that some things, you know, that as a form of tangible evidence that a cat ball's not going to hold it. It might be good on a public event and might scare the shit out of somebody when it flashes on response. But come on, we're trying to prove something. Well, not serious, but you know what I mean. We're trying to prove something that we're trying to get an explanation to tell the world, or get that, you know, that one bit of evidence that can change the outlook of our lives. So don't rely on a plastic ball with a little bit of motion sensor in it, for God's sake. So all I'm just saying is just start thinking outside the box. Let's all of us watching tonight. Let's start coming up with ideas. Yeah.
All I wanted really, I mean, I used to love the cat balls, and you know, I don't mind people using them at all. I've got a few people on, you know, my half of Jabu crew team that use them as well, and that's fine. But all I want to see, I kind of ignore them now when they start flashing. I want to see it move. Is what I want to see it. If I want to see anything,
move the ball. Move the ball.
If it's flashing by itself, just stood there, I'm not really that interested.
It's the same. It's like everybody's got these word bank apps now. I don't know. I ain't going to mention names, blah, blah, blah. But you can reprogram these word banks in these apps to suit the location you're at. I've seen it done. I've seen people changing it. They've designed the app. You know, for example, Chillingham Castle, they'll put the double A in there, etc., etc. And then it'll come up and then everybody go, oh, my God, give it a like because it's mentioned it's the Chillingham Castle's got a turret, blah, blah, blah. No, it's bullshit. Don't do that. Rely on your senses. Rely on your gut instinct. Rely on more, how can I put it, scientific-based examination and than just, as I say, a cat ball or a word bank. So, you know, if somebody asks me what's your go-to piece of equipment, and I'll always say an EVP voice recorder, but by God, can I ever get an EVP anywhere I ever go under controlled conditions? I cannot. I have tried my hardest. Wherever I go, somebody, something, be it an act of nature, act of force majeure, act of God, I can never get an EVP. So I've got 17 voice recorders, all recording at different frequencies, and you know, different aspects of noise collection via the microphone, contamination, etc. I cannot get the right environment anywhere. There is always somebody shuffling the coat, always a car coming past. But voice recorders to me and this frequency capture of this voice or whatever it be, a growl, etc. Not your stomach, by the way, because that happens in every single invest. But if you capture, class A, not class C, none of this, you know, rumblings and mumblings, that's pareidolia, you can hear and make out a word. If you can get class A, then, and you know it's controlled correctly, you're onto a winner. And it does happen. I have heard some amazing, I've not caught the Holy Grail one yet, Well, I have had some close ones, but some of the ones that I've witnessed, they're undeniable. And that is just one form where I think could be tangible.
Yeah.
And God, I need people listening tonight to say this is tangible. This is a way to get tangible evidence. And then, I'll be forever worshipful to them, and I'll use these methods on my events for sure.
Yeah. There's sorry, I don't because I never met the chap from the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop in Stoke.
Craig's lovely and Gemma's lovely. I mean, you need to come on. Yeah.
I can see him in chat there. Thanks very much for joining, Craig. Very much appreciated. And he's saying there, let's build a soundproof room at the museum. Yeah. So it's. Yeah.
Well, he's got a padded cell. He's got a padded cell in the asylum bit.
Is that just him? Is that just for him?
Yeah. Well, just for me when I'm having a rant. But anybody watching tonight, I've got to give it a big plug. Haunted Museum, Spirit Shop, Stoke, and Fenton. It is the fastest up-and-coming haunted location in the UK. And I'm not doing it because I get on with Craig and Gemma there. I'm telling you now, hands on heart, that place, again, what we've been discussing tonight about pushing the boundaries, this man is pushing the boundaries in paranormal research. He has got a room, an energy room that has negative ions. It's got Tesla coils. It's almost like a Faraday cage, so don't get taking your radios in there, etc. This is pure energy. You walk into it and it can be manipulated. The artifacts at this museum are 100% validated. He's got serial killer artifacts. He's got paintings from serial killers. He's got letters of serial killers. He's got some of the most macabre antiquities that you can ever imagine. So including dark energy boxes, including devil boxes. I mean, it's the one room is like walking into a satanic lair of some Hammer horror film. He's got everything. He's got a chapel, so he's got
amazing.
He's got used coffins in there, and I mean, it's probably the best comfy sleep you'll ever have. It's like velvet laid out. You can go dark in there, so you can put the lid down, put your SB7 on, and then just tune in away. I mean, this man at this museum is pushing the boundaries of paranormal research in the UK. And I'm not just saying it, I love everybody most people in the community, but just go there once, even if it's just for the tour. It's £10 to have a tour. Yeah. He's got 350 artifacts, and 300 of them are the most darkest, macabre artifacts that you could ever imagine. I can't go into detail. You need the tour. Trust me. Some of them will turn your stomach. They're that dark.
Maybe this year, Russ. I think that might have to happen.
Come with me as a VIP on one of our monthly visits there.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you can. No problem.
Brilliant stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Russ, because I've got Kim and Chris there waiting in the wings. So what I'll do, I'll get them in, and we'll have a bit of a chat with them.
No problem. I'll shut up now. I'm sorry. Once I start, I can never stop, Mark. I'm so passionate. Don't anybody judge me for being passionate about it, because I want to come in and spring clean what's going on in the community. I think we've lost our focus. Really do. We concentrate. We go into the entertainment sector of it, and it shouldn't be. It needs to. We need to discuss physics. We need to discuss religion. We need to bring all these elements together, so we're strong and we can form a community, a unity to seek our goals. And that's all I'm at. And have a laugh while we're doing it, get pissed, do whatever we want to do. And that's it. God bless.
Well, thank you very much, Russ. I tell you what, mate, it's been absolutely...
go now or not?
You can stay if you want.
Oh, I'll stop a bit and finish my beer and then...
Good. How are we doing, Chris? Is he there? He's not there yet. No, he's not there. Come in, Chris. Have you got somebody to do with your mic? I think he's frozen there a bit. Well, I tell you what, we'll wait for Chris to say something, I don't think I've got his mic. No, I've not got his mic muted. I think he might be having a connection problem there. I can just say, I can hear you, but your video is not, your video is playing up.
Apparently the videos. Hang on. Do you want me to just reconnect? See if that helps.
Yeah, reconnect. Yeah. As we were saying, Russ.
Yeah, I've de-stressed now. I think I need to sleep. No. Seriously, as I said, I just respect it. What everybody does out there in the field. There are some unsung heroes, massive unsung heroes out there, and you know it's just all the usual suspects get all the credit for what they're doing and pushing and pushing things, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, there's some superstars who blow me away. I mean, absolutely blow me away, and just a bit of rationality in relation to what we do. And everybody loves a good creepy story. Everybody likes to be scared. Everybody loves the heebie-jeebies. And keep that tale going. But I just think we've lost a little bit of focus in relation to the main goal. And let's get back on track. People who want to do that. So. We all want that same goal. So I think that, if we all start working together instead of like working against each other. I'm not saying I don't work against all the people I've met. We all work together. I've never met anyone that actually wants to work against you. That's for sure. No,
I mean, I've heard many a tale of many people trying to work against others. Always wanting to be the first, if you want to call it that. But getting glory rights, bragging rights, whatever. But there's no need. It's just everybody.
It's big enough for everybody to have a go. Everybody who's passionate, and you don't need training really. You just need to be respectful, have your wits about you, and obviously just and do it safely, and don't upset anybody, and be respectful. Don't get breaking into properties and a lot. I cringe sometimes when I see people doing that, especially when the house is full of memories, and. That people don't go through censoring these memories. I saw people put in bills. They got into a house, somebody's passed away in there, and they're filming the electricity bill with the name on, and have some sensitivity to the subject and the core matter. It's like I had a debate with. I was talking to Kate Sherrill the once in relation. I don't think she was at the Parameet, but she was there and she was lecturing on the investigating in cemeteries. So the moral compass of investigating in a cemetery, and the respect involved. So that's a whole heap of a discussion itself. Should we be investigating cemeteries because memories of their departed loved ones? So, I'll shut up now because you're lovely guests here, Kim and Chris. Sorry.
You're welcome. How are you doing, Kim and Chris? You all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's actually. I thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. You guys must be pushing quite a few subs there these days. No, not going for likes and subs and that kind of stuff. But you guys have you broken 5?
6, just
6. Jesus wept. Well, how you pin? Who you pin?
You.
Yeah, you.
You actually are, believe it or not. I guess, Russ did, when I was talking to Russ about coming in here, he was saying and I don't know where he gets this from, to be fair, but he happened to say that IConjure are cool. I mean, I don't know.
I do it from Craig from the museum, and then obviously we follow each other on Instagram as well. So I always look out for your work. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we love Craig.
Yeah, he's great.
Museum's great.
Yeah, we're going back there actually soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
His new rooms are second to none. I say pushing boundaries now. So.
Look forward to seeing it.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to get up there. To be fair, one day that'll be in a good little bucket list, I think.
Definitely.
So, what are you two up to then?
Not a lot.
Editing. Finding abandoned locations.
Yeah, finding some more places where we can go and investigate.
Sorting the kids.
Well, that's your hardest job for sure. You guys have got a new video coming up soon, haven't you? I guess it's out tonight. Your collaboration with the OBs.
Yes, that was a good night. Actually, that was. It was all popping off for them, and it seemed quite quiet for us till we went over some stuff. We've caught a couple of good bits, haven't we? But nothing like they did on the night. It was crazy for them. I think they actually thought. I said to Steve, I hope you don't think it's us, because it's not us. We're not doing anything.
Oh, hang on.
I hope you've got a spirit there. Who's pulled that off?
I've got a wardrobe malfunction.
You two on it.
Now, when I was, I have been talking to Steve about this place, and he seems to rate it quite highly. But he says he's trying to talk to the owners to actually to be allowed more access to it.
Yeah,
which would be good if you can go through the correct channels and get permission to go into because it's quite a big place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge, and he said that like it's a gem, like a really good haunted location. He's never caught anything like he's caught there, which is a big statement from them. But
I mean, if the owners like put an ad out to all paranormal teams and said that if everyone's willing to chip in for free to build the place back up, we'll allow you to have the place for a few hours. And
it goes back into what? Sorry, Kim. It was going back into what Russ was just saying about preserving these fantastic buildings.
I tell you something, it's such a shame because me and Chris was saying, like, I mean, one building, it's a bit rubbish. Like, there's a lot of water now because the radiators and everything have burst, obviously through like the frozen weather and stuff.
Yeah.
But the other one, it's like someone could just move in. The carpets are spotless. It is like new, and they're going to knock it down. This big old building that's probably Victorian, just stunning. They're knocking it down to build a more modern home. And that really annoys me because I just think, what could that building be made into? Yeah. So it's such a shame.
I actually, when I was talking to Steve about this place just last week, he gave me the location for it. I can't remember where it is off the top of my head, but I went and looked back in some old archives at some old Ordnance Survey maps, and right on that spot, in obviously what's been written on the map in probably in ink quill, like joined up writing, it says something along the lines. If you can just see it, it says something pit. Now, whether that be coal pit or gravel pit or something like that, but right in that bloody ping point where Steve sent us the thing for, that's where it is. So, I mean, whether it was a working mine there, whether it was a working gravel pit, I'm really not too sure.
Weren't they, back in the day, the mines and what have you? Yeah.
Interesting all the same, all that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, when are we going to meet up again this year, then?
ASAP.
I was just about to say.
We said maybe we should come down more your end, hopefully this time, and see if there's anywhere down there that we can do.
Yeah, because I think last time someone turned up, it was kind of delayed our collab, really, didn't it? And it just felt like a short night. It was very, very quick.
And we were attacked by bats.
The bats were fantastic, that's for sure. I love the bats. That was at Lily Shawleby, wasn't it? It was where we went there. Yeah, that was a beautiful place. Again, a fantastic ruin. Yeah. And it's thankfully English Heritage have it, so it'll stay like it is. But I think English people like big bodies like this, like English Heritage, the Church Commissioners, that kind of, instead of actually giving up the land for these new builds that we don't really even need, because what's the point of a new builds if they're not going to put like infrastructure in the first place? They're quite very, very keen to knock up houses left, right, and centre. Sorry, this is not paranormal, but this is a bit of a hate of mine. But they're very, very keen to knock up houses left, right, and centre. But they're not going to put any extra doctor surgeries, hospitals, schools, and everything else just gets crammed in. Rant over.
Feel better now.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. No, I really like Lily Shaw, and it's it's one of them places where you can quite easily go back again and again and again. I've seen some people get some good stuff there. I mean, I've been there twice now and had a pretty, excuse the pun, dead night. But it was still, that's besides the point. It was really still nice to go there and visit the place and see the ruins. To feel the atmosphere as well. It's got a great atmosphere.
It's really nice as well in the summer nights. Just really light nights, warm.
Oh, yeah.
Them are the nights that I'm looking forward to again.
Just a damn shame.
Go out to all these nice places.
It's just a damn shame that sorry, I think the dog was scratching at the door trying to get in. It's just a damn shame that when the wind blows in the wrong direction, you get that pub with its live band coming on every now and again.
Yeah. We had all the songs coming in, didn't we?
Oh God! So for you guys coming up, I mean, obviously we will talk about us getting together, and maybe you can come down a little bit further towards me this time, and we'll meet somewhere. I don't know where yet, and I have actually just started looking at a few prospective places, but yeah, I'm not going into that too much. But one of them is in Peterborough, and they're charging a fortune for it. And I didn't even realize it was on the paranormal map. It was just an old building that actually. And they said that they have had. I can't remember the name of the place there now. It's up near Peterborough anyway, which is it's a bit of a way up from me, and obviously you'll have to come across. But still, they charge a fortune to get in there. It was over I think it was about 650 quid or something like that.
Ooh. Yeah, places are not cheap, are they?
I'd say the paranormal pound is becoming a very lucrative thing these days for people.
Definitely. I think that's why more people are going towards the abandons and things, because people just can't afford that sort of money. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
The cost of some of these places.
Yeah. I mean, we've also got people in chat there as well that obviously do this as well. I mean, they might be able to actually chip in with this as well about how these places now, the prices are just going up and up and up all the time. They're not stable. I know everybody's prices have gone up and up and up, but still, what do they have to charge for? I mean, the heating's never on. The heating's never on after hours.
No, it's always freezing whenever you go a paid event, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think of that? What do you think about that, Russ? With the price of these places
it's
going
ridiculous.
up and up.
I must admit, it's absolutely ridiculous, and I can understand why. The process of going to abandoned buildings, and I'm not saying you guys at Conjure and you do it correctly and ask for permission, but there's an awful lot of people that they don't ask for permission, and obviously that gives the paranormal community a bad name when you do start breaking in. If I can be so blunt to say it, but I can understand why, unless you do a team share and reliable, resourceful teams who you can trust to budget up with and go to set locations. But even then, it's still a bloody rip-off. It's unbelievable. Paying £500-600 for 6 hours, £100 an hour, just to come on. There's got to be a sense of intelligence about it, and I think they need to reduce prices drastically. Especially for what we're doing. We're not, as you say, Mark, half of these places have got no heating, half of them have got no spark at all. And all we're doing is sitting around tables and using our own equipment that's battery or lithium charged. So no need for it. So hence the Paranormal Venue Advisor on Facebook, get on there. They'll give you a rundown of all the cheap locations, and you can find places for £100, £150, and we can all be safe and legal. So check out.
I was going to say, we went to an old mill last night, didn't we? That Staffordshire Paranormal put us on to. And honestly, we had the best night. We had the most activity, I think.
It was quite cheap.
Yeah, and it was cheap.
That's it.
So we were dead surprised, and there was just the two of us that had the whole mill to ourselves. Granted, it's not massive.
Don't matter.
But what do you need? You don't need a massive place, do you? It was 3 floors. No. And we could also go up to the viaduct, which we didn't actually end up having chance to do. But what an amazing place, honestly. Even just to look at and everything, it was just ace.
See, so the hidden gems are there, aren't they? We just got to put the time and motion in and research some of these big places, you know, with the notoriety and the charge the earth. We don't need them. That's what I mean. Britain is rich with history. Let's
it really is.
And use them.
I think, you know, we're so lucky to live in the UK with such a vast history, all these buildings that still remain and everything. Like, if more than anything, I like just doing it because it gets us out to places that we just would never ever dream of going to. So we would never think, oh, I'll just go on a day trip to this beaten down Abbey, or, you know, but when you get there, you're like, wow, this is actually really good. And the history, I love the history of it as well, like the historic side. And I'm a right history geek, aren't I?
Yes, you are. And let's face it, doing the paranormal investigating gets you out. I mean,
definitely.
What would I be doing if I didn't do it? I'd be staying in grounded.
You'd be bored.
Being naughty again, Chris. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Beardo has just arrived in the green room. I don't know if you guys have ever met him before, but this guy loves a rant. He's a good old Welsh bloke. He really is, and I must thank him as well when he comes on for giving my channel as well, with obviously Russ and everybody else in the chat as well. Just massive thanks to everyone for pushing me above 2K subs. That you've made this old man's dreams come true. To be fair, so it's good stuff. Hey,
the hot sauce.
So it's especially that hot sauce.
Oh, on that, I do actually have a couple of bottles of my own hot sauce. Oh God. So I do actually make this stuff, and if you're interested in how it actually gets, and it's a bit of a long drawn-out process, but if you're interested in how it actually gets made from seed to source, then all I'm going to do is plonk that there. That's my other YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm self-promoting, so there we go. It's called The Chili Northerner. It's my other YouTube channel on because I've been now growing chilies for about 3 years, and so I decided for this year I'm going to try and document the whole thing from start to finish. So the whole process takes like from January, February kind of area all the way through till October, November. It's a bit of a labour of love, but it's a good one all the same. So yeah, get over to
you're a northerner, Mark. I thought you was a Cockney.
Jesus Christ, Russ. I might live down here. My accent hasn't changed. I mean, I've been down here since I lived down in Hertfordshire, so I've been down here since 2006. But I'd like to think the accent hasn't changed that much. From being my hometown is from Durham. If anybody is interested at all.
Chris does a right good impression.
What's happening here in chat? I'm lagging so bad. I'm lagging. Going to refresh.
If I'm honest, Mark, when you're on about how it's made, I knew you were going to mention about a second channel, but I was expecting it to be Dead Hot.
Dead Hot Soul.
A channel called Dead Hot and Dead Cold.
Well, maybe I've missed that one. Maybe I missed that one. I don't know. I thought the Chili Northerner had a bit more of a good ring to it, to be fair. Right, let's get Beardo in and let's have a good old chin wag with him, because it'd be nice to meet this effervescent chap.
Effervescent. Everyone's shitting themselves now. Oh, is it the bunker in?
So, Dayle, aka Beardo, welcome to the live stream. Very nice to have actually met you. I've never spoken to you in my life. Like Russ, I've never spoken to him before, but we've chatted on text. But thanks very much for coming on. Much appreciated, mate. It really is.
No, as soon as you said you were looking for people, I wanted to because despite what people think, I don't just poop all over the fakers. I like to promote the real haunted poster that's by the side of you.
I know. Can you debunk that?
Yes, masking and tape. I like to shout out the guys that I think are legitimate, and at the moment there's a small handful, but like I've said to yourself, I've watched enough of yours now where I can say, right, I think Dead Cold is legitimate. Yeah. I've watched over 20 of your videos, and I've never seen anything in there that could make me think you're faking anything, staging anything. I've never seen anything that I could even attempt to debunk.
Yeah, because it's now in there.
but that's the thing. You get the fake channels have ruined it for you guys that are real because everyone's expecting people to walk into a haunted building and stuff to be flying about, and can you give 2 knocks for yes, and massive thuds and cat balls levitating, and you're like, that's not how it works. Yeah. And obviously I'm the odd one out of the debunkers because I actually believe in the paranormal and I do my own paranormal investigations, and the wife's been talking in chat with people tonight because our house has activity in it. And everyone's like, oh, you debunkers, you poop on everything. It's like, no, I just poop on the guys that take away from people like the Ouija brothers, like Dead Cold. I've started working my way through people like IConjure, Broken... I forgot his name. Aaron.
Broken Capital.
Broken Capital and Ghost Theory. There's, the list is getting bigger and bigger for me. And while I do trash sometimes others that I think are fleecing people or that are ruining the paranormal, the reason I do it is because they're shitting on my beliefs and in turn your beliefs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like the guys I work with the other day, I walked in, they started playing Ghostbusters and I was like, uh-oh. Like, we found your YouTube channel. I was like, all right. They were like, you don't believe in that, do you? I'm like, yeah. What? How? Why? And I'm like, well, personal experience. So the first thing they go to is Lainey and Ben. So have you ever seen anything like this? So I was like, yeah, all the time. It's called masking. So I explain what I do that end. And they're like, oh, so you're not a ghost. You don't believe in ghosts. No, I do. But I want to separate all of that, throw it to one side and say to people, that's not how it is. But then the Ouija Brothers, Ghost Theory, Dead Cold, and the others that I'll never watch a video by a channel and then say, right, they're legit, go and watch them. I've got to watch 20 to 30 videos to get a good feel for who they are as people. If they're the type of guys that are going in there and trying to summon demons with a piece of chalk and a bit of talcum powder, I haven't got the time of day for you. I'm sorry. It's disrespectful for a start. It is disrespectful to people's beliefs. And if they did conjure something, I mean, there'd be a hole in the wall where they've just run through it because they wouldn't know how to deal with it. They've never seen anything real. They don't understand anything real. And then I want to be the guy that is then saying, go check out these other channels. I drove for 3.5 hours. Steve drove for 3.5 hours. I drove for like an hour and a half to get turned away from 2 buildings. And he was like, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, no, this is how it should be. Even that getting to the point of, right, we've wasted our time. I'm like, no, that's real to me. At least you haven't kicked the window in, which will give everyone else a bad name. You haven't gone in there graffitiing walls and satanic stuff all over the floor. You've been respectful to the property and to the security there. I mean, they were not the nicest to us, but it's like, all right, we're not going to cause you any problems. We'll try and somewhere else. I met Carl from the other Welsh lad. I can't remember.
Moxie.
No, Carl. He's been somewhere with you, Mark, I think.
Has he?
Is it you or is it? He's definitely been out with Broken Capital.
Oh, Cabo
TV.
No, I can't remember. Exploring the Entity.
Oh, you Carl. Yes. I can forget his second name. Exploring the Entity. Yeah.
Yeah, met up. That's him. I met up with him as well. Really nice guy, and everyone was just like, it's disappointing that we can't get in, but they were respectful because my first thing is they start kicking windows through or something. I'm going to feel like I felt like a criminal just stood outside this building, like, I'm a big guy. I felt like this big, but with a big light on my head, and everything was looking at me like, oh. But no, they were respectful, they were cool, and it was like, all right, we've walked away empty-handed, but I got to meet two really nice guys in Steve and Carl. And then Carl, who's I've never spoken to online, I'd never watched any of his videos, he's like, hey, come out with me sometime and I'll arrange for us to go to these different places. And then through his channel, I've watched IConjure, and then through Ouija Brothers, Dead Cold, and then I'm finding all these really good channels because you've got a good cluster of real paranormal investigators. Obviously, I've never heard of Russ before tonight. And everything he's saying, my wife
knows me, mate. Nobody knows me.
But my wife's sitting there nodding like, that's the guy we need to go out with as well. Somebody like that wants to try and put something new out there, or use your brain and respectful to history, buildings and stuff. And I'll be honest, this side of the paranormal is full of the nicest people I've ever met. Everyone is just so nice and welcoming. You look at the fake guys and they're all at each other's throats. They stabbing each other in the back and they tucking each other up with videos and firebombing cars. And then this lot, it's like nobody knew me. I was a debunker that did 3 paranormal investigations and the Ouija Brothers helped me out. And I'm like, they're a big channel. Why are they helping me? And it's because they're nice guys.
Yeah.
And I'm a threat to everyone.
You're only a threat if they're fake.
Exactly.
Skeptical believer, Beardo. That's what you are, mate. And
I'm not skeptical of the paranormal.
No, I mean, you're a believer. You're a believer. You've got the skeptical element for rationalization.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of YouTube videos because there's just so much bad stuff out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark, I don't normally drink on a Sunday because I work with power tools and stuff. But I was like, I got a can left, so congratulations on 2K, bro. Well deserved.
Well, thank you very much, Beardo. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Much appreciated. Is that a ghost glass you've got there, Kim?
Yeah. I'll have me Coke. Cheers.
We were quite taken back by your age as well, Mark, because we assumed you were our age.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 41.
All right.
And I thought we were around the same age. And when you said 51 this year, I was like, where's this fucking wrinkles?
If I get up close.
It's the potato cam.
Nah, I've got to. I tell you what, I've probably got to thank my mum for my lack of wrinkles. I mean, my mum's like 78 there now, and she's still looking good, to be honest.
Oh, my mum was a prune. It's all right. She doesn't watch.
I'm sure she's gonna love that comment.
My mother-in-law might watch. She's smooth, very smooth face. My mother-in-law.
So Mr. Beardo, I want to call you Dayle. Dayle is your real name. So I again would actually love. We have talked about this, and obviously I'd love to actually meet up with you at some point this year. And that would be
definitely.
That would be fantastic to meet up somewhere. I don't know where.
No,
maybe somewhere in Wales. There's plenty of good places in Wales where you are. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know what it is with Wales, but there's literally castle. You could throw a stone at a castle in any direction from where we live. I think there's 6 that I can walk to from my house, and wow. It's insane. And yeah, I'd love to go out with you. I've had some offers from other channels, and I've politely declined. No, I won't. But then there's other channels where I've said, I've said the Broken Capital. And he's like, oh, I'm a bit more comedy based. So yeah, but you don't lie. You're honest about your intention. When you go out, you want to have a laugh and get scared. Yeah. I'm fine with that. And if you want me to come along with you and get scared as well, then yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking actually, going back to what Russ's location he was at last night, I'm thinking we should all kind of meet up there.
Yeah, Bulliff. Is it Bulliff or Buelliff Wells? Yeah.
We laughed when you said that.
I don't know.
It's Bilf Wells.
Bilf.
Yeah.
Milf Wells.
Milf. It's not that type of stream.
That's a different kind of live stream, Russ.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I wondered why it was a different. The sheep were friendly.
Were they all wearing wellies?
No, honestly, it was spectacular. I love Wales to bits, and as he's just said, it's just everywhere. Was it Bryngarth Hospital?
Bryngarth?
That's him. We was there the other weekends ago. It was a bugger to get to, but we did it. Exactly. History galore, and we loved every minute.
There's some amazing places in Wales. Some of them, there's one in a place called Treharris. I can't remember the name of it. My wife will be able to put it in the comments. Her son that doesn't believe in anything had an experience there, but you've got to pay to go there, and you've got to hire the whole building out, and they don't look at it as a small team of investigators to a massive most haunted going there and renting it. It's the same price for everything, and it's like, and I went on a paranormal investigation, but it was a massive group thing in Margam Castle, which is a beautiful building, great history. The place looks stunning. But we got in there, and there was 50 people in there screaming the place down, and then they were like, right, no Ouija boards, and people doing Ouija boards and throwing glasses, and we were sat in the corner oh, this isn't what I wanted to do. But the only way to get in there.
Your wife says we can all go around your place.
We had a conversation with Steve from the Ouija Brothers, and we were like, we've never filmed in our home because I don't want to look like other. I'm not going to mention channels names. We don't want to come across like them, and B, it's like we could antagonize something or even lose it because we're not sure what it is, and whether it's a family, whether it's something replaying. Because where we live, we're a stone throw from a castle. There's battlegrounds, munitions tunnels, and everything all around us. So we don't know what it is. And I said to Steve, you could come here, but she wouldn't allow filming. And he's like, I'd love to come there just to experience it. And I'm like, but I've lived in this house for 9 years, and I've seen 3 things move in 9 years. That's real paranormal. Yeah. We've had the odd EVP on a phone, and it's never when we're trying to capture it. It's when we've been doing something else, and then there's something in the background. You're like, and then there's a photo. I'll send it to you on Facebook, Mark. Everyone thinks I'm bullshitting when I say it, but we're upstairs in bed. At the time, we were having renovations done on the house, and my wife was saying about noises and all the rest. And like most of it's wood frame house settling, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, I can't remember how we started, but I said, if somebody's going to live here, they can at least pay the rent or do the dishes. And then we just heard this almighty bang. And as soon as I heard the bang, I knew what it was. My son's got a plastic box about a foot deep, and it's full of corgi cars. And I'm talking corgi cars from when I was a kid up until when he was a kid, stuff like that. Heavy.
Oh, cracking.
You know the old school stuff.
I used to have one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing's full to the brim, and I couldn't lift it. I had to drag it with the wheels. And it sounded like somebody'd lifted that about a foot up in the air and let go of it. Smashed into the floor, woke the entire house up, and we heard all the cars shift. And the first thing I did was sit bolt upright and snap a photo with my phone. And you can see up our hallway, we've got a mirror at the end of it, and there's a silhouette blocks out the mirror. And if you brighten the image, it almost looks like my wife. But I was there, my wife's next to me, shitting her pants. And I've sent it to a few people, and a few people are like, nah, you've added that. And I'm like, do you know what I do? And but that's part of the reason then why we don't film here is like it's too easy for everyone to say, oh, that's bull, and then we want to be respectful to whatever is here. And in a way, we don't want to lose it either, because sometimes it's quite comforting to know there's something beyond this 70, 80 years we get. If there's more, then I'm all up for that.
You just don't want to feed it though, do you? Because it could become uncomfortable. Because the more energy you throw at it, the more it can feed. You know, it's like anything really. The more
And it's like people have said, don't you have CCTV in your house? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do. Mm-hmm. But it points at doors. To come into the house, it points at my garage, the side door, the back door, and the front door, where people would break in. It's not pointing in my living room, looking at us sat on the sofa, scratching. You know what I mean? People buy CCTV for a reason, and then everyone else has got it pointing at the bed, pointing at the living room, pointing in the kids' bedrooms. You're like, why have you got it facing that way? That's not what it's for.
Yeah. Beardo OnlyFans page.
I reckon I'd be rich if I started one, because people would be throwing money at me to put my t-shirt back on. I got to compliment Mark on his t-shirt as well. I have the exact same one upstairs.
Do you?
Yeah.
The down.
Down, yeah.
With Jesus smoking a spliff.
That's not actually Jesus, it's the bass player.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Rex.
I always thought it was Jesus because he had the crown of thorns.
No, it's Rex from the band. But he's meant to be Jesus, yeah.
Well, I stand corrected. There we go. I've had this T-shirt. This T-shirt's nearly as old as my son.
I think mine is probably about 20 years old.
Yeah.
It looks like it's been spray painted on when I put it on now.
This used to fit me a lot better.
Yeah, I'm getting that problem with a lot of my clothes. I think it's the tumble dryer.
Yes. So, what have you got any plans for anything coming up, Dayle? Are you going out anywhere, or are you just constantly bashing the people that you bash, and with good reason?
There's a lot of bashing. There is a lot of bashing because I've had my second threat today, and that's amused me greatly. Somebody was doing spirit boxes, saying that somebody was dead when they might not be, and I took great offence to it. And he threatened me on my channel. I'm like, I win. But as soon as the weather breaks a bit, because I mean, if you've ever been to Wales, you'll know when it rains here.
Oh yeah,
it's for about 3 months on end, and when it stops raining, it is freezing cold. And at the moment, everywhere that we can kind of go to is open. So I don't want to ruin, because all our equipment's quite new, because we used to just use our phones. And initially I was like, that's all you need, really. If you're going to capture something, why do you need a grand camera when you can use your mobile phone? And then discovered when it comes to editing and things like that, then it becomes a bit of a problem. And but yeah, we are going back out. Like me and my wife have gone out a few times, and then me and Dean have gone out, but we want the three of us to start going out. And then obviously it's not a secret anymore. The Ouija brothers are going to be taking me out. Me and there's a few. There's a few channels want me to go out. But I do want to go. I want to go back to the castle that Mrs. Geek first did last October. Purely with like the better.
Is that the quite long video that you did? It was about an hour or so long. I have watched that one. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, I want to go back there because there was just something. Not the equipment; it was your feeling.
Yeah,
like the hairs on the back of my neck standing up and constantly feeling like I was being watched. And I don't know if that's because if somebody was down in the campsite that's not that far away, looking at me walking around with a torch talking to ghosts, they're going to be like, look at that idiot up there. Maybe that's where I got the feeling. But then there was little bits that we picked up in the video, and I was like, I don't know. My wife is obviously far more open to it than I am, far less skeptical than I am. And she was like, there's just a really dark feeling there.
Yeah.
And then I looked into the history, and what's her name? Amy of the Crypts.
Yeah, Amy's Crypt.
Amy's Crypts have gone there the night before us, and we didn't realise.
All right.
And a lot of the stuff we had, they had, and I'm like, oh, that lends a bit of legitimacy to what we had. But then also in her video, there was like, there was a woman screaming. Obviously, she's not from the UK, so she wouldn't know that a fox sounds a lot like a woman screaming.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she's like, that massive bang. I'm like, there's a fire in range 2 miles away, and you can hear it. You can hear it as far as I live from there, which is probably 10 miles. But yeah, there was just, I want to go back there, but we need the weather because there's no roof on there. But it is such a historical place. And there's like the village that used to be next to it that's been swallowed by the sand dunes, and you can just see a piece of what's left of the church standing out. I'd like to go further up into that end of it as well.
Yeah. And
there's like the old school ghost stories of the place, like the Goblin Stone and things like that. I'd love to go back and sort of the urban legends, if you will. But these urban legends are old, really old. And yeah, I'd love to go back. There was something off with that place.
Interesting place, that's for sure. It actually reminded me, one of my, I think it's my third video I ever did was at a place called Minsden Chapel. I went there by myself. It was the last video I ever did on my phone. I had some terrible battery issues, but it was again maybe my newness in doing it all. But you're in a chapel, which is surrounded, or a chapel ruin surrounded by. You're at the top of a hill, and then going back down the slope is a coppice wood. And the legend says that it's a great folklore tale. It really is. There's a dark entity lives within the wood and doesn't come into the doesn't feel it never comes into the chapel. And you've got that obviously like playing in your mind all the time. But people go up there and have campfires, and there has been talks of rituals going on there as well. So I don't know. You can go into rituals all you want, I suppose. But I don't know if I believe them or not. But if you did accidentally conjure something up and it is left there, then I don't know. I might be just talking verbal diarrhea here, but it was quite a different atmosphere. And I've actually been there, and I haven't actually videoed the place, but I've actually been there about 4 times. I've only videoed it twice. The second time I went with Steve, and we went there. We got to the top, and we stood within the chapel ruin, and both of us got this. I mean, I'm normally okay when I'm with someone, but both of us got this really oppressive feeling. It was odd. I mean, even Steve will tell you this as well. We walked out of the ruin into the wood, and it was as if like the maybe it was because it was sheltered slightly. The room was sheltered slightly from the wind, but the wind just kind of got up outside, and when you were outside of the chapel walls in the wood, and then it kind of went quiet again, and all of a sudden we heard this big old crack, like a branch break. It must have only been, well, from my hearing, must have only been about maybe 20 feet in front of us, and we both kind of looked at each other and thought, "Are we doing this tonight?" I think we'd pretty much spooked each other, to be fair.
It's different when you're out. Like everyone, to people that sit at home that have never done it, I don't think anyone understands, especially if you're somewhere you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
The fear you're gonna have of just a human catching you. Then you've got the fear of, what if there's a squatter in you? What if there's a drug user in you? Real people are scary, And then there's you walk into someone, you see pentagrams all over the floor, and I look at it and be like, they've drawn that wrong. And then you're thinking, I personally, do I believe people can be possessed and demons and all that? I don't. But then at the same point, I'm the guy that won't touch a Ouija board. So
yeah.
I mean, it's something I wanted to ask all of you. Well, if I was hoping we would all be on. So any one of you, all of you, would you do a Ouija board and be happy to do one?
Well, on our events, we've got them. And they're there for people to use. But in relation to, the background and blah blah blah, all lore behind them, as a tangible form of communication, personally, I don't accept that as evidence. But I have seen some interesting maneuvers, as you like to see, with the planchette. So the guys are all doing the usual stuff, and the planchette sometimes will go out of control. Go mental. I don't know if you've seen it, like a DJ, some demented DJ mixing. No, but I did find, I think it was Kate Hairwear Girl from GPS team. She told me that when you see it do that, Russ, it's a negative energy coming through, and it's trying to create a sigil to create a portal to come through. So I always took that on board from her, which was a nice bit of knowledge, because that probably explains it, and then shut the session down when that occurs. But in relation to using them all the time, and no, it's not my preferred method. But I can understand why people do it because of its history and nostalgia, I suppose.
As skeptical as I am, if somebody pulls one of them out and says, "Yeah, put your hand on that," I'm like, "No, I'm not touching it." I don't believe that you can summon a demon through one, but on the off chance, no. I had an experience with a child, and I'm not a child. I was about 16, 17. It was a horrible experience. I've told the story on a Q&A thing, and it terrified me for years. And looking back, it's like it was probably just a room full of drunk boys, and we were, whether we knew it or not, pushing that glass with minute sort of movements, and then your brain. But when basically the glass flipped up the right way, because we didn't have a planchette, we used a whiskey tumbler. It flipped up the right way, shot across the room, and burst midair. And that was me done with them. Like, I'm never touching one of them things again. And like, even seeing people using them, I hear the planchette move, and it makes my skin crawl. I'm like, I just can't touch it. As skeptical as I am, I can't put my hand on one.
It's just how many million boards out there, and everybody seems to summon Zozo, the demon of the Ouija board. And I just think, and the Ouija obviously being French, is it for yes, the yes board,
no, so, yes, no, wasn't it?
Yes, no board,
We've tried to use one, haven't we?
We've tried to use
but
one,
we literally did not move, and that is the God's honest truth. We tried it numerous times, and it did not move a muscle.
We tried one at an event, and we had some random couple on, and it moved. So then we tried one with people that we wholeheartedly trust, and it didn't move once, so we don't use them.
Not even a little bit, and we've tried them numerous times. So I don't really believe in them myself.
No.
Yeah.
It's just table tipping, isn't it? Table tipping's the same, one unsteady leg and a little bit of gravity, a little bit of gravity kicks in, and then next thing you know, it's disco dancing around the world, and everyone's got. And you just
I just find it amazing that you can fill a room with 20 skeptics, pull a Ouija board out, and they're all like, I don't believe in it. I put your hand on it. No. People are generally scared of it. And it started out as a Parker Brothers game.
Yes, yeah.
Go buy it, and then Hasbro bought it, and you could go into Toys R Us at one point. I don't think the UK ever sold them in Toys R Us, but in America, you could go into Toys R Us and just pick one up as a 6-year-old kid, take it home, and summon
the dad.
Summon himself.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, because I know Kim and Chris, you've got a premiere to prepare for, haven't you?
Yes.
At what time do you have to go for that?
Starts at 9.
All right. Yeah. So after this is finished, which is going to be soon anyway, I'm not going to. As much as I would love to stop and chat with you guys all night, because it's actually quite interesting. I've got to get prepared myself as well for the next day, for my day's work.
Yeah.
But now what I was going to do was just to finalise things. I was just going to a question for you all. I mean, what has been your best experience or most frightening experience that you've had so far within your investigations, when you've been out on an investigation somewhere? Russ, I'll start with you.
I've been doing it too long to get frightened anymore. To be honest.
There must be some when you actually first started. Maybe I don't know.
Moments, but the more memorable moments are normally the soppy ones. The reuniting of family, etc. Seeing the spiritual aspect of it. But okay, so in relation to, I'll mention one. I once saw a partial apparition in. I forgot where I was now. Which hospital was it? Anyway, I was in some hospital or some clinic somewhere about 15 years ago, and I saw a partial apparition of a man in a wheelchair, and he was coming down the driveway towards the steps of this facility, and I'm thinking, it's abandoned. What's he doing? Is he coming to visit? But as soon as I clocked on and what it was going on, as soon as it vanished, so yeah, but it didn't scare me. But obviously, EBGB wise, it was a 9 out of 10. But most scariest physical moment was at Woodchester Mansion when I was chasing the monk, or like to call it, in the chapel area. I followed this shadow being, apparently, what you want to call them, into the confessional area, and I thought nothing of it really, just chasing shadows. Walked into the confessional area, and I must have entered some kind of energy field, but it was a bit too powerful for me to handle. And next thing you know, I'm like nearly passing out, and the guys are having to keep me upright. So I don't know how you want to put that, an energy expanse. I don't know. Is it paranormal? I don't know. Is it physics, science? But I did walk into something that upset my internal algorithms and sent me off kilter. But yeah, that was a freakish moment I couldn't explain. So me a few sleepless nights.
Yeah, nice one. Kim and Chris?
Mine would be we went to a church, didn't we? And that was pretty much, I mean, we'd been doing it for probably 6 months or so at the time, hadn't we?
Yeah.
And honestly, I just wanted to go home. We'd only been there about 20 minutes and I just wanted to go home because there was just stuff happening. And it's never normally like that. Like, we never usually get anything.
And I think it was the point that it was out in the middle of nowhere. No one would hear us if anything did kick off.
We're
like, let's think about this. Is this worth our lives?
we kind of like heard like a little chuckly laughing.
Scratching,
and it was so weird. But we couldn't put his finger on exactly what it was. And going over the footage afterwards and like hearing that little chuckle, and we were just like, there was only me, Chris and Warren in that church. It's down a lane, it's in the middle of a field, it's in the middle of nowhere. But we've been back since, never had that same feeling, and nothing happened when we went back again. So
the one with ghost theory was crazy, but it wasn't scary.
That was more interesting though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more interesting. And that abandoned...
that was at Robertson House, wasn't it?
Yeah, Robertson House. The other one where you, are we safe to be here? That someone got thrown.
That was that.
We got an EVP on the camera where it went, but in the moment it was a scream. We heard someone scream, and it was like, it was weird, dead weird.
It's like some things sound different when you're there in the time. You listen back to it, and it doesn't sound the same to what you remember hearing. So
if you listen to your own voice back on an EVP, it always sounds off anyway. So whatever you're recording is going to sound off because of the compression and everything. I mean, everyone's got these EVP machines and they maxed out, and there's a certain setting that a lot of those types of channels use, and it's the close rubbing. The Ouija Brothers did a video on it.
Yeah, we've seen that video.
I found that the recorder on my phone does a better job than a lot of what these guys do, because it's picking up on they wear, and some of them wear those jackets on purpose, the rainproof jackets in the middle of July, and it's like, is there anyone there? There is.
£2,500 for a Philips DR60 that's got a distorted microphone, and because every time the echo on your EVP request, and you get an echo, and people are saying it's Class A EVP, and it's not. It's just a distorted microphone of a defunct Panasonic DR60, and $2,500 they wanted. It's just ridiculous. It's
wow.
Yeah.
Beardo?
Scariest experience on an investigation didn't involve a ghost. It involved another ghost hunting team that we didn't realise were there.
Hey, that can be just as scary sometimes.
Well, me and Dina stood in this abandoned care home. It's being demolished now, which is such a shame. But obviously the vandals have been in and set fire to it, and the building was trashed. We both stood one end of a room from each other, and we heard movement. We were like, our first investigation. Nobody's going to believe this. I'm never putting this video up. And then I just saw this light sliver by the side of me, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then I heard a voice, and I'm like, right, there's somebody here. So I said to Dean, if that's security and we hide and then they come in and find us hiding and we scare them, chances are it's going to turn into a physical confrontation. So you stay there. I'll go out with my torch on and say, hello, look, we just here to film and what have you. And as I went round the corner to the front door of the building, this woman pops up in front of me. And my torch lit up her face, perfect white, and there's just this white circle, and she screamed in my face. I sort of shot back and was like, as she looks at me, and she was like, "Oh, you're all right, love. The three boys behind me would have helped me." And I'm like, "All right, what three boys?" She turned around, they bolted. From their angle, she'd gone into this haunted thing and said, "Is anyone there?" They hear her hello, and then this massive figure lurches around the corner with his face all lit up. So she screamed. Her scream scared me. Obviously, me appearing scared her. but we were on edge then all night, and it was. But paranormal wise, I haven't had anything on the investigations we've done that's proper scared me that was paranormal. I'm a really jumpy person, and things scare me. Like there was an ivy branch rubbed past my fingers, and I shit myself. I was like, "No!" Oh, right, it's an ivy branch and all the rest. I've never had anything on an investigation that scared me, but the Ouija board experience when I was 16, that proper messed me up for years. That did. And then the figure upstairs that we photographed, it was like, at the time, I was like, that's really cool. Until I turned the lamp off and closed my eyes, I was like, oh, fuck. There's something there, and it unnerved me rather than scared me. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Mine, if I can go back to mine, I'll end on mine, and then I'll let you guys go, and then I'll have a couple of minutes chat to the people in chat that have been very patient, and they've been an absolute pleasure having them on. But like I was watching the viewing figures. I had like 61, 62 people viewing it at one point. That's just amazing, to be fair. And again, thank you very much. But I go back to Wales, and I go back to Haunted Hill. Both of these things have been. I mean, one of them was weird. And I know, Russ, we were talking about phones and apps, that kind of thing before. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back and with the burnt thing. The thing that my voice app thing was spitting out the word burnt all the time. Now, I know for a fact that where I was sitting in that wing of that building, that the part of it was actually burnt out at one point. Maybe not the building that was there, but the building was there beforehand on that same footprint was burnt down. So that was quite interesting in it, because that was quite interesting anyway. But it kept on just saying, I lost count of how many times it said burnt, and I'm just sitting there talking to the camera.
Is it could it be GPS though, Mark? You know what I mean?
It could be.
Yeah, I don't know how that work. I'm not intelligent enough.
Another coincidence that happened was that unbeknown to me, my new All-Light torch was in my pocket, turned on. Bloody thing! I'm going to take that down a bit. I just saw it hang off the wall like that. The skull kind of turned round to look at me. But it just kept on saying burnt, 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 and then I got a burning sensation in my leg where my torch was there. It was just that was quite bizarre. But the first time we were ever there, I was there with Martin in that same room, and I was I'd built this kind of wooden pyramid thing to dangle a chain through, and I had an amethyst stone on the end of it, and I was just trying to explain kind of thing, like a pendulum, just explaining to the camera, like to how it would probably work, if anything, just hopefully kind of thing. And then after I'd finished explaining it, immediately afterwards, I heard this woman's agreeing tone of voice. It said, that kind of thing. I heard it. And that's the first time I ever heard anything with my own two ears. Normally I catch things on my camera's mic, but I very rarely hear things with my own two ears. And even Martin heard it as well.
Yep.
I'd never heard anything like that before. And that was quite strange. I have been talking to Martin since. I mean, we are looking at going back there this year at some point, because Martin and myself and Steve have got a project to do up there, to do with the local Welsh area. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I can't really say too much about it yet because, Martin's told me to keep quiet about it. There we go. I've just got and told 60 people in the bloody live stream.
All right. None of us will say anything, will we, guys?
Shh, don't say anything. But, so that's going to be a cool little project. But, I'd be pleased to go back up there again. But what he's talking to the locals, talking to police that have been, worked that area before, talking to loads of different people, to be fair, and starting to build up a profile on the whole area and its history and its hauntings as well, and just accounts from what people have said that they've seen there and heard there. So that'd be a good little thing to get into.
I just watched one of your videos there. I've watched two of them. And you said it's the that's the original building from the Woman in Black story, or that's where the story came from.
That's what the story keeps is. It's meant to be the house where the original story from the Woman in Black came from.
Yeah, because like I'm not like I don't get feelings, and you know I can't walk into a building and go, oh, I'm about as psychic as a jacket potato. But
a psychic jacket potato.
I've watched 4 different teams go to that building, and every time I watch people in that building, I get the and I'm like, I want to go there.
Yeah,
and
it's got all the feels. It really has got all the feels, and it's got so much history.
It's the one that comes through media. It's the one place I've looked at. Like 30 East Drive, I want to go there. I know everyone says it's dead now because there's too many people. I'd love to go there just to say I've actually done it.
Yeah.
It's a part of history.
Go there and experience it. It's a fantastic place.
But then that Hill House, every time I see somebody in there, I'm like, I've got to go because it just gives me the creep factor, and I'd love to go and experience it. Well, what's about my terminology? There's nothing wrong with my terminology. Jan.
Right, well, I tell you what, loves, we'll probably wrap this up. It's been absolutely fantastic having you 4 on. It really has.
It's been nice meeting everyone as well.
You Beardo, you Chris and
nice
Kim.
To meet you both.
And you Mark, finally, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. We'll all keep in contact, and we'll have to a meet up there sooner or later, that's for sure.
Definitely.
All right.
We should do this more often as well. Just random
chats. What I'm planning on doing... going forward, I might do a few more of these as the during the winter months, just until the weather starts getting a bit better. And I said to Russ that I might, because Russ has got a lot of, even though it's a fresh YouTube channel, or it's you can say what you like about his YouTube channel, but Russ, your knowledge is fantastic.
Yeah.
You've been doing this such a long time. I'm just I've always had a bit of I've always had an interest in it, but I've only started doing this because I really wanted to make some videos and document what I'd actually found. You've been doing this for many years.
I just never followed the path that you guys did, and hats off to you guys. I'm very, very envious, but all my study was done through books and research, and that's how I done it. And
there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah,
I watched Most Haunted, and I wanted to be a vet.
Well,
that's where it started. I think that's where the initial interest came from.
Ghostwatch prior to Most Haunted, if you remember, with Michael Aspel. And
unfortunately, Ghostwatch absolutely terrified me as a kid. Mr. Pipes was the scariest thing I've ever heard of. And no matter how many people told me it was fake. You're probably too young. Yeah, Kim and Chris are probably too young for Ghostwatch.
You could get
I don't know if you know what it is.
It
was a mockumentary with a live, but you could phone into it. It was a live stream of a real haunted house, and the whole thing was set up. And people were phoning the police, and people were passing out, and it was so scary. I went to school the next day. I was in primary school. I was that young, and everyone was like, "Did you see that last night? Ghosts, they're real." And it was all a big fake. That's why debunk everything. Sarah Green and Michael Aspel. Yeah. You've ruined Laney and Ben for everyone.
Well, on that note, I'll let you guys go. I'll chat to my fellow watchers in the chat for a few minutes, and then I'm going to sign off myself. So it's been fantastic having you guys on, really has, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you all. Lovely to meet you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I'm sorry I haven't really been looking at the chat too much because there's been a lot of people in it, to be fair. But yeah, this all goes back to you guys. Going back to the why I've actually got to 2,000 subscribers. I mean, it's 2,150 subscribers now or thereabouts. But yeah, it's because of you guys getting me there. So I must thank you again because I couldn't do this without you. So all the likes, You know, I'm going to plug it, but I don't really plug it too often. I have a bit of a merch thing as well. But people have bought stuff for the merch. I don't really plug it too often because I always feel a bit like, you know, I don't like begging, and I don't beg, but I just mention it every now and again. But the support for the channel has been fantastic. It really has. I mean, forget the donations. I mean, I am massively thankful for any donations that anybody gives me. I mean, it's just like, you know, times are hard enough as it is for people. Never mind giving, you know, the likes of me donations in whatever form that might be. And I am always grateful for it. But like, share, and subscribe. They are the best things you could probably do for this channel. And I really appreciate it. I really do. What I'm going to say is, before we sign out, who would like to see the Chillingham Castle trailer one more time? Right. I'm going to stick this on one more time, and then that'll be it.
Chillingham Castle, calm and tranquil by day. But when the night falls, dark and foreboding it becomes.
Is anyone in the gallery up there? What was that noise?
I heard that.
Did you hear that?
Like somebody clearing their throat.
Yeah.
Like I command you in the name of the king to join us at this table.
Dungeon time. I have come to what they call the oubliette. It's a solitary confinement of very, very small dungeon prison.
Got some bones there and a skull.
I'm going to spend a bit of time in here. Well, for those that missed it, I hope you enjoyed it. And again, all I'm going to say, I'm going to sign off there now. So a massive thanks to everyone that turned up today, and a massive thanks to everybody that watches this once it goes out on YouTube as well. So huge thanks again to everyone. Wonderful, wonderful people out there, and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you very soon. I'm signing out. Ta-da.